Did you have resentment towards your mom?
I did. I really did. I had,
That's okay.
I'm trying not to cry
No, you, this
through
is
this
good.
interview. Sorry.
No, this is not formal, so you need to
Yeah.
let it out.
I have resentment.
Welcome to the Going 180 podcast. I am Dr. Deborah Wilson, your host. And this evening I am godmom. And I'm here
Yes.
with my godchild, Natasha Antoinette Brooks. And this is a long time coming. So I'm excited to have her. Thank you for being with me.
Thank you for this opportunity.
So she happens to be in town. And we have a couple of ministerial things that we're doing on this weekend. And so I grabbed her and said, we're gonna do this interview.
Yes.
And so we're in season 2 and we're talking about relationship. And so we're going to just have a nice chat. I've made her some of her, she drinks and eats healthy, y'all. So I made her lemon, what is it, honey with some ginger and some turmeric. So we're good to go. We'll take a sip every now and then.
And it's very good.
So let's get started. So again, there'll be some edits that we might do so that we just, protect proprietary things that she might not want aired, but we're going to just have a mom and daughter chat. Okay, so I'm gonna ask you a couple of questions.
Okay.
We're just gonna come right out with it. If you had to complete this sentence, I feel safe when.
To be honest, when I'm sleeping.
Ooh. What is that?
So, because that's the first thing that came to my mind because I'm at rest.
Okay.
I'm at peace.
Mm. Okay, so adversarially say this now. I feel most threatened when.
I feel most threatened when someone takes me for granted.
Someone like who?
It could be family members, it could be coworkers, it could be associates, it could be anyone that has a close proximity of me.
Mhm.
Um,
So somebody in your circle, not.
somebody like my circle is very tight, but if you're like outside my circle, but you're still coming around, yeah, I feel threatened when you take me for granted, or if you try to use my past or try to use what you know. Because that's the point of you trying to make me feel some type of way, and you're trying to threaten me. So that's when I feel most threatened, when someone makes me feel uncomfortable or try to.
So they know something about you, they know your past, they know your pain, they know your trauma, because in some regard, you're very open, you become more open about it, more here recently.
Yeah.
So you're saying that now that I've unpacked this, or now that I've chosen to share this with you, and then however you use it, because sometimes it's not a direct hit, but it can be one of those indirect,
And
side swiping, talking, what they call come for somebody, or the undercuts, where you're still talking about it, but you're not saying my name, that kind of thing. And you're saying that's when you feel most threatened, because you feel that even though they're not coming at you directly, it could be an indirect, but it's still you still feel it.
Yeah, I still feel it.
And you recognize it as what it is.
What it is, yeah.
Okay. So, so what do you do when you feel threatened? What do you do when you feel that someone is taking advantage of something that you've shared with them in confidence, or not even in confidence, but something that you've shared with them that they perceive you're feeling vulnerable about it, because you probably aren't. So they are taking an opportunity to then use what they believe will make you uncomfortable
Mhm.
to try to take you off your square, so to speak,
Yeah.
right? So how do you feel when that happens? And what do you do?
So, in the past, I would just isolate myself.
Mhm.
Like I would just withdraw.
Mhm.
Now I just be like, oh, okay.
You recognize.
I recognize it. I see who they are. And so I choose if I want to continue to deal with that person.
Mhm.
I choose, or if I want to really not deal with that person, but still have a relationship with that person. I choose how I want to deal with them. So I may love them from a distance, be respectful, but I don't run anymore. So in the past, I used to run like you were saying, vulnerable, and just feel shameful. But because I am an open book, there's really nothing no one can use. If I told you something in confidence, if I told you something about my past, and then you tried to sideswipe me or undercut me, you're just showing me who you are. And so I take that and just be like, oh, I'm gonna choose if I want to deal with you. And if I do decide to continue to deal with you, I'm very limited. I set different boundaries. So I choose when I want to talk to you. I choose if I want to hang out with you. I choose. So now it's the choice, because when I told you something that at that time it could have been to help you, or it could have been, a situation.
Okay.
And I'm just
And now for whatever reason, you're using that.
Yeah, you're using
manipulating
that. Yeah,
it.
you're
Okay.
manipulating it. So yeah.
So when you talk about some of the things that you have shared with people, of the trauma, things that you now are choosing. So before we get into that, the type of work that you've been doing over the last decade, what kind of work have you been doing? What kind of, in your employment, your career, what have you done?
So the last decade, I have worked with really in social service, as a social worker. I have worked with intellectual disability clients. I'm also a part of a sorority, so I have had leadership positions as a vice president of our local chapter in Bakersfield. So
what type of population of people do you feel drawn to?
That is a good question. I feel like the population that I'm drawn to is just women of all ages.
What about children?
In the past, yes. And I'm a Sunday school teacher at my local church.
You like kids?
And for some reason, the
babies like you.
The babies like me. The teenagers really like me. And I be like, but they love my class. And my pastor actually had a meeting with the youth, and I was actually there. I wasn't in the youth meeting. I teach Sunday school for probably like 10 minutes, and then we're talking about life. They tell me about their girlfriends, they tell me about their teachers. And so, of course, I bring it back to spiritual.
But you listen to them.
But I listen to them, yes.
Can you relate to anything that they're going through?
Yes. And I tell them, when I was their age, I always tell them I don't know what you're going through because of the time, right?
The era has changed.
The era is changed. It's changed. But I've been through some of the things you've been through. A lot of the kids at our church, they are being raised by grandma, they're being raised by aunties, some are in foster care, some of them parents present in the home, but not present with them.
So, you were in foster care?
Yes.
Why were you in foster care?
I was in foster care because my mother chose to live a lifestyle, I always say, based to fit her. My mom was a drug addict. She was a drug dealer and a drug addict. And growing up, I didn't understand until I got older, it was to fit her, whatever, how she felt that she needed to survive. So, and that was the lifestyle. She chose drugs.
Were you her oldest child?
I am the oldest.
How many children did she have?
My mom had 5 children
Okay.
and I'm the oldest. And now it's 4 of us, because my brother under me, Robert, passed in a car accident in Alabama.
Mhm. So did you live with your mom when you were little?
No,
Have you ever lived with your
I
mom?
never lived with my mom. I lived with my grandmother, which was her mother,
Mhm.
in San Francisco. In baby, as they call baby Hunters Point, that is the proper term.
Mhm.
The slang term is Hunters Point.
Mhm.
So I was raised by her from the age of 5 all the way to probably 15, 16, because my grandmother got sick.
Mhm.
And so even though she was my foster mom,
Mhm.
I ended up going to a foster home.
Mhm.
But yeah, so I actually, to be honest, when I was born,
Mhm.
I lived in the first project that I lived in was Valencia Gardens.
Mhm.
And then we ended up moving to Hunters Point. Me and my
And
brother.
how often did you see your mom?
I didn't start seeing my mom until I was in high school.
So the whole time you were
Yeah.
a child, you lived with your grandmother?
I lived with my grandmother. Yep.
And your mom never came around?
Well, my grandmother did not allow my mom to come over.
Mm. Okay.
So that was that. I remember like it was yesterday when we were taking, I was at school.
Mhm.
And because I wasn't going to school, and I guess the time when, you know,
Mhm.
how they used to take kids from school.
Mhm.
Yeah, and it was so interesting because
How come you weren't going to school?
mom was on drugs.
Oh, so that's what happened, so you weren't going to school, so that's when the school came.
Well, no, when I did go to school, I guess, you know,
They
they
realized.
realized something was going on, and then, yeah, so, yeah, I didn't go to school for so often, and then, yeah, when we did go to school, that's when me and my brother Robert, who died in a car accident, was taken from
Mhm.
school, and we end up going to San Francisco. We end up going to the center,
Mhm.
Child Protective Center, the same center that I actually worked at once I graduated from college as a social worker. So it's very interesting. Same.
Mm.
Yeah, it was very difficult. But yeah, my grandmother raised us.
So when you were how old when you were taken from your mom into the school?
5.
Okay, so you were 5, and you remember they came to the school and took you from school,
Mm-hmm.
and you remember?
Mhm.
And much younger was Robert than you?
Robert was like 3. He was 3 because we're 2 years apart.
Okay. So he was 3, but he was still in the school system of some sort?
Well, like, you
Like
know
a
how to
preschool,
like
yeah.
a preschool
Right.
thing, yeah.
So you were together though,
Yeah, we were
and they
together.
came and took both of you.
Mhm. And they kept saying, "Oh, y'all gonna be okay, y'all gonna be okay." So, and I didn't know.
But you were together still.
Yeah, we were together
Mhm.
up until when my grandmother got sick. So
Mhm.
we ended up going to separate foster homes.
Mhm. So when they came and got you and took you from school and you were 5, when did your grandma come get you? Right after that?
Couple of hours later.
Oh, she did, but your grandmother
Yeah,
the one
yeah,
came and got
she
you.
came and got us.
And so you went back to your grandmother, and did you just automatically at that point start living with her?
Mhm. We started living with her. Yeah, we started living with her.
Were you close to her before that?
Mm-mm.
Did you know her?
I can't remember
Because you were 5.
because I was young,
Mhm.
yeah.
So when you started living with her, who did she have in her home?
So she had my aunt, my youngest aunt,
Your mom's sister.
my mom's sister,
Mhm.
my mom's younger brother, And I call him Tony, which I thought it was my grandfather, but he wasn't.
It was her husband or boyfriend?
It was her boyfriend the whole time. I thought they were married until I found out once he died, they wasn't even.
That's how they did back then.
Yeah, so I guess that's how they did, so yeah.
And did they have kids?
Yes, they had one kid, his name was Michael.
So how long did you all live? So you and Robert lived with your grandmother? And how long did you all live there with her?
Like I said, we lived with her to about when I was about 16. Robert's about 14.
And then she got sick.
She got sick.
So prior to her getting sick, what was your life like with her?
Ooh, that's where the trauma began.
Okay.
So we was always in church. Was in Baptist church at that.
Was it Missionary Baptist? Was it First Baptist?
It was Missionary Baptist.
Okay.
And so first it was like, okay, cool. Like I said, we were in church. I felt like we was in church Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday, all day.
I know that's right.
All day.
Sunday school,
BTS or BTU, all that. And so,
and Sunday night service.
Yeah, yeah. And then I was hanging out with the older saints. But it was cool because I was like, okay. But as I was getting older, filling out here, and things like that. Tony
is
my grandmother's boyfriend,
okay.
You could say.
Who you thought was his grandfather?
Who I thought was my grandfather for many years. Started touching me. Because at that time when we moved with my grandmother, she only had a 3-bedroom apartment, living in the projects. And so me and Robert had to sleep downstairs in the living room because this is all information that was passed down to me. I guess they asked my grandmother if she wanted to have get a bigger place to kind of help us or whatever. And she was like, no, I'm gonna stay where I'm at. And so they was like, okay, cool. So me and Robert.
Social services asked.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what was told to me. And so me and Robert used to stay in the living room.
On the couch?
Yeah, on the couch. So Tony, it used to be real late night. And so this is about when I'm I feel like I'm 12, 13. He will come downstairs when everybody sleeps. So I'm thinking probably it's way before 5 o'clock in the morning because my grandma used to get up about that time. But when it was dark and cold. And so yeah, he would come downstairs and would touch me. He would stick his hand in my breast, and start rubbing my breast, and then eventually start sticking his hand, down my pants.
Did he say anything to you?
No.
And what did you do when you were 12?
I was so.
Where's your brother? He was there?
Sleep.
Okay.
Everybody was asleep. So I couldn't do anything. I just let him. And then once I got a little bit older, I started, turning, to the side.
So he couldn't.
So he couldn't touch me. And so what I did, because I couldn't do anything, he would go into the bathroom for hours. I don't know what he would be doing in the bathroom. And he would have his money in his bag. And I would go and steal his money because I couldn't do anything.
Because you're mad at him.
I was mad at him. Mad.
Did he know you were taking his money?
No, he knew somebody was taking his money because he would count it. And then, but I never said it was me,
Did you ever tell anybody?
Mm-mm. Yeah, took his money.
No, that he was.
So when my mom actually got out of Chowchilla and got her life together, we was just talking, and I was like, "Yeah, mom." I was like, "Tony, you touched me." She was like, "What?" She was so mad. She was like, "He did what?" And I was like, "Yeah." She was like, "He did it to all of us, to all her siblings,
To all your grandmother's daughters.
daughters." So it was a total of 3 of them. And so,
So he was just.
he was just a predator. And so my mom, did have AIDS. She contracted. I asked her how did she contract it? If she had HIV first, and then she had AIDS, and this was the epidemic
when it first came out.
First came out. And I asked her, I said, "How did you get it?" Because I'm thinking through sex, because
yeah, that's how you were told.
because that's how we were told. And she was like, "No, sharing needles." And she said, "I knew when I got it." She said
She was on heroin.
my mom was on heroin, on coke, weed, lace weed, everything. And so she said she knew who she got it from, and she know when. She said, because when she shot herself, it felt different. So I said, okay. But when she told my grandmother and them, and at the time I was not living with my grandma because my grandmother was sick. And then, sorry, I'm jumping all over, but my grandmother was sick. And when my grandmother was hospitalized due to colon cancer, my uncle at the time that was living with her, not her middle son, told the hospital that it was 2 kids living in a home. And so that's when we had to actually go outside. Yeah, we had to go to another foster home. But when I told my mom, she called my grandmother and said she was coming. She was living in Merced. And she said she was coming to San Francisco and gonna bite Tony and give Tony what she got.
Because at that point, people didn't know how you could contract it. And she didn't care. She was gonna make sure.
Yeah. And so
at that point, it was kind of known that this is what was going on.
Well, I believe that my grandmother probably knew, and I think she kept it a secret, because back then African Americans, they kept secrets because
either because they needed it because he was providing.
Yeah, and I was about to say,
taking care of
he
the
was
household.
probably taking care of the household.
Wow, what a sacrifice, right?
Yeah, this was definitely a sacrifice. But then, because of him doing that and him being a predator, his son was a predator towards me.
The son that she and her that they had together.
Yes.
So you're basically cousin with it? No,
my uncle.
Uncle.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so what he would do, he would actually dry hump me.
How old were you?
I was like, 13, 14.
So he would, after the grandfather would come at night.
And then he would come like in the daytime. Like, so say if we're at home and my grandmother at work, because my grandmother was a maid, she worked in the hotels downtown.
But before she got sick.
So at Union Square. Yeah.
Where was Robert?
Sometimes there or sometimes outside.
Did he see him do this? Did he hold you down and do this?
He would make me and Robert dry hump each other while he sit there.
And how old was he?
Who?
Michael.
Michael probably was like in his 20s.
Was he mentally ill? I mean, obviously he was
No, he
deranged, but I mean, was he slow?
Was mentally ill because according to when I was growing up, he was a track star. And he ended up going to a party or something like that, they were saying, and somebody slipped something in his drink, And ever since then,
He
he
was
was
never the
not,
same.
he was never the same. And to this day, he's in a mental hospital.
He's still alive.
Mhm.
So you're
Up
on,
north.
so you're around 12 or 13,
Mhm.
and at night, the grandfather, her male counterpart is coming in, filling on you. And then during the day, this man is taking advantage as well.
Mhm.
And then, and he made you and your brother do this?
Mhm.
And what did he say to you? Did he give you candy? I mean, what was his ploy to make you do this? I mean,
He just made us. I can't even remember, like, we couldn't, I couldn't say no because he was very violent too.
okay.
He knocked my grandmother eye out because she wouldn't give him no money.
So he was off.
He was very off, like,
Were you afraid of him?
yes, everybody in the neighborhood was afraid of him. Like one lady, like I was standing at the bus stop and he was walking, and one lady kind of like gave me a hug because I kind of like knew her, and he ended up just fighting her. Like he was very, very off. I don't know.
So did he hit you ever?
No, he never
No.
hit me.
That he would tell you that he would make you do this?
Mhm. And so then, yeah, he would make me do that. And then once we got, I don't know if my grandmother had a sense or felt something,
Mhm.
because me and Robert ended up moving upstairs.
Mhm. So instead of on the couch, she moved you into a room.
She moved me into the room,
Mhm.
but it didn't make no better because it
Mhm.
was me, Robert, and Michael in the room.
Oh my God. You
So-
shared a room with him?
Mhm.
Lord Jesus.
So I don't know if, maybe so she can kind of like hear, I don't know. But yeah,
So how-
but he would never do nothing while everybody was in the house. You know what I'm saying?
So he knew enough to not
He
do that?
knew, yeah.
See, the selective craziness is what gets me with people.
Mhm.
The selective mentally ill. I understand that mental illness is real. My issue with the overarching concept of mental illness is that it seems to be very selective.
Mhm.
So I'm mentally ill when I'm tried for the crimes that I'm committing, but I'm not mentally ill enough when I am premeditating to do them.
Mhm.
So he could not possibly think that having two young people do whatever he was trying to make you do was right. So he was incoherent, obviously then,
Mhm.
but then coherent when it came to anything else. Did he have a job?
Mhm.
So he just lived in the house.
He was living in the house because I don't know.
And so what happened when you all shared a room? As you got older?
Well, really nothing, because like I said, I felt like my grandmother probably knew something,
Mhm.
so he would never do it while she was there.
Mhm.
So my grandmother, like, kind of like, told me like, okay, you need to go to the Boys and Girls Club. Like, so I was
She's
out.
trying to get you out of the house.
Yeah, so I was out the house once I got old enough to go into the Boys and Girls Club.
Mhm.
And so the Boys and Girls Club that I went to was about 20 minutes away. We're on the bus.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, we just stayed out the house.
Mhm.
So she tried to get me out the house. So then when I got a little bit older, I was like, well, I want to go to the gym because it's right down the street, instead of
Mhm.
catching a bus to the Boys and Girls Club on San Bruno. I don't know if it is still there in San Francisco,
Mhm.
but yeah. But I think, I have a feeling like she knew something was going on.
Mhm. Did he ever molest your brother?
You know what? I don't know. I couldn't, I don't know.
And so, did you and your brother ever talk about the experience?
No, not really. No, we never talked about it even once we got
Once you got
older.
older? And so is that as far as it went, him telling you to dry hump each other?
Mhm.
That's as far as
With him, yeah,
with your
with
brother?
Michael, yeah, and my brother.
Okay.
We knew it was like crazy, but me and Robert never tried to be intimate with each other.
No, well, of course
Yeah.
not.
Yeah,
And did he ever rape you, Michael?
no, he never raped me. It was just more so dry humping. Yeah,
Okay, and neither did the Tony, but it was still off.
it was definitely off. Tony, he, Yeah, Tony, that was, yeah. I don't, yeah, Tony was a hot mess.
So how did you finally get out of that? Get out of there? She
Well,
got sick.
She got sick.
And you had to leave.
We had to leave.
So now, wait a minute. So you had to leave. So did your mom have other children?
My mom did have other children,
Okay.
so my mom had two more, and then she had one more while she was in prison.
So where did the other two go?
So the other two, because they were very young,
Okay.
the other two ended up going with my dad's side.
Did you all have the same father?
Yes.
Mhm.
Well, to be honest,
You don't know. Yeah, nowadays you don't know, right?
So to be honest, my birth certificate said father unknown.
So your grandmother gets sick and you and Robert end up getting separated. Now the other two that she had, where did they go?
They went on my dad's side.
They
The
went-
Sessions.
The Sessions.
Mhm.
And why didn't they take you and Robert? Because you were older?
Well, I guess my grandmother said no.
Mm-mm.
I'll take the two oldest. And then somehow
The other side.
the other side took the other two.
Do you think your other two siblings experienced some of the same things that you did
Yes.
in terms of molestation or?
They don't like to talk about their childhood.
Mhm.
And sometimes they say they never had a childhood.
Mm.
Right? And so for me, because I'm older now, I hang out with a lot of therapists and just things like that.
Mhm.
Been in the mental health field for a minute.
Mhm.
I as well,
You feel like that's their way of not,
mhm.
and then
That's
your
the-
younger brother has some issues, the one from the four.
Yeah.
Ivan.
Ivan.
And you think that's
Iman.
why?
Yeah, I think that's why. I think he doesn't really talk about it.
Mhm.
Nor my sister Charlotte. They really don't talk about their childhood.
Mhm.
I remember Charlotte, I was at her church,
Mhm.
my sorority, and my sister said, I didn't have a childhood. And when she said that, I kind of turned around because I was sitting in front of her. She was like, I didn't. And so that really stuck with me and has stuck with me. And I
Did you-
feel so bad because I'm like,
Did you ask her?
I tried. She said no.
She said no, what, she don't want to talk about it?
She said she don't want to talk about it. I didn't develop my relationship with Ivan or Charlotte until I got into college.
Mm. You were kept away from them.
I was kept away from them because my grandmother's last name is Green in the Sessions. The Greens and the Sessions never got along
Okay.
because they all felt that they were better than one another. Like my
Mhm.
grandmother was living in projects, the Session lived in homes,
Mhm.
but my grandmother acted like the projects
Where's them?
was her home.
Right.
And so,
She's like, you're not better than me.
yeah. And
Plus,
so-
I'm raising the grandchildren.
yeah, and so I don't know why they were feud. To this day, I just don't. I
But
don't
they
understand.
never got along.
They just never got along. So when I got older enough, I developed my relationship with my siblings.
Were they open?
Mhm.
Mhm. Now you had a fifth brother.
Yes, little Ricky. He was actually born in jail.
Mhm.
Thank God. We call him a miracle baby. He did not contract it. The AIDS
Oh, that's
or
right, because your mom
HIV.
had AIDS by the time she
Mhm.
had him.
Mhm.
Well, praise God.
He did
He wasn't
not.
born on heroin.
He wasn't born on none of that. No heroin, no nothing, because my mom was in prison, so
She couldn't get to it.
she
yeah.
couldn't get to it, and he was clean. And she was clean, so of course he was clean.
Oh, great.
And he's doing well.
Mhm.
One thing about I should say all my mom's children, all five of us, we all went to college.
Mhm.
We all graduated, even Iman, with his mental state, we all went to college
Oh,
and
okay.
we all graduated.
Does your mom know that? How old were you when your mom passed away? Because that's when I met you, I remember.
Yeah, what was I,
20.
25, 22, 23? I was in my early 20s.
Mhm. Did you have resentment towards your mom?
I did. I really did. I had.
It's okay.
I'm trying not to cry.
No, you, this
do
is
this
good.
interview, sorry.
No, this is not formal, so you need to
Yeah.
let it out.
I have resentment because I wanted, of course, you know, my mom to live a long time,
Mhm.
to be here. Definitely to see all my accomplishments, to see the
Yeah.
rest of her children. But I did have resentment.
Mhm.
When I got a chance to go visit my mom,
Mhm.
which I had to fight my grandmother to go visit my mom. My grandmother did not understand that you don't contract AIDS by
Oh,
touching.
okay, so that's why she was afraid of you being
Yeah.
around. Okay.
Or one day, my mom had came to San Francisco, and she was at the hotel, and I was at the hotel with my mom, and I had my shoes on. My girl was like, "Put on your shoes," because I was like, "Why?" And she was like, "Because." I said, "Because what?" I said, "Granny, you don't contract AIDS or HIV
From feet.
for feet," but she didn't know.
Nobody knew.
Nobody
Let's just
didn't
be honest,
know.
nobody knew when that thing first came out.
So yeah, and I was in like high school when my mom, started
Mhm.
coming around and
Mhm.
things like that.
Were you happy that your mom was coming around?
Yeah,
Mhm.
and she actually the one who told. So this is the funny thing. All my older siblings knew that my mom had AIDS.
Mhm.
My mom told me that she had AIDS.
Mhm.
And I remember when I told Robert, he was outside playing, my mom was on the phone, my mom was on the phone. She told me, I ran to tell Robert.